The last one of the forms is the hardest. It's the cube. And for a lot of people, this one is frustrating, but we're going to get through it together. So what we're going to start out by doing, once again, is we're going to mark where the top is going to be, and we're going to mark where the bottom is going to be so that we know that it's going to be big. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do 2 lines facing down. It's like an upside down V. And it's not a pointy V, it's a shallow V. Okay, so we're not doing like a super pointy V, we're just going to go a wide V. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the other part too. So that it's like a really, really flat or stretched out diamond. And this cube is going to be long and skinny, like a rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this bottom one, or this middle line, and I'm going to bring it all the way down. And then I'm going to take these lines, or these corners, and I'm going to bring them down. And I'm not going to bring it all the way down, because I want this one to be the longest. I'm going to bring this one down too. Okay. And I want these two to be about the same way. And then I'm just going to connect. So it's kind of like I made an arrow. And then I'm going to decide where my light source is going to be. And we did this side last time, so let's do this side this time. Oops. So I have my sun, and it's shining this way. So that means that this side is going to be in the light. And the same way we did for the cylinder, we're going to shade each one separately. So we're going to pretend like this is 3 separate shapes, even though it's one form. So we're going to start out with shading. Let's start out with shading this one. This is the one that's farthest away from the sun, so it's going to be the darkest. And since it's really far away from the sun, we can pretty much just cover the whole thing with some charcoal. But we're not going to get any charcoal into the other ones. And the cube is a little different because we're not necessarily trying to blend it from dark to light. We're just going to shade each shape with a different value. So this one's going to be the darkest because it's far away from the sun. This one's really, really closer to the sun, so we're going to make it lighter, but I think this one is the closest. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave this one pretty much white. Then we're going to take this one and we're going to make this one medium. So I'm just really, really lightly covering it because I don't want it to be quite as dark as this. I want it to be more medium level of darkness. And I think I went a little too dark, so I'm just going to take my eraser and I'm going to use it to lift up some of the charcoal. So you can't really completely erase the charcoal, but you can use your eraser to like lift up a little bit of it. So now it's more of a medium amount. And that's it. You can leave this one bright white. So we have our darkest, our medium, and our bright white. But I always think it looks good to just get rid of some of these lines and make them a little bit lighter since it's in the bright part. So I'm just going to lighten up those lines. And then my edges are a little messy, so I'm going to clean up my edges. Okay. Actually, my hands are getting a little dirty, so I'm getting more spots. So this would probably be a good time to go ask for a wet wipe. And then I could clean up my edges, but I'm just going to save that for later. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to add my cast shadow, and it's the same way as with the other shapes. We're going to imagine the light is shining this way. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do our cast shadow going in that direction. It's just a line, and then we're going to blend it. And I want you to notice that when I blended, I made sure that I blended all the way to the end of the shape. So I didn't just make it a simple line and then have this part have no shadow. I blended it all the way up to the corner. And I really need a wet wipe because my hands are so dirty that when I'm touching, I'm getting my whole picture dirty. I forgot my horizon line. See how you can notice it doesn't really look like it's sitting on the ground. It looks like it's floating. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to add my horizon line. And that's the cube.